You see, the whole mystery of the coming of Mashiach and his resurrection and glorification is taught. He said, we'll come and abode within you. We'll have a living presence within you if you keep my word, because by keeping his word, you purify the vessels of your life so that he can dwell. He will not dwell in a dirty cup, no more than you will drink from a cup. You go to a restaurant and they hand you a glass of water and you see all kind of germs and stuff and dirt in the water, you're going to hand it back to him. Yahweh didn't give us a doctrine where we can hand him a dirty cup and think that he's going to accept it. No, he has given you an instruction to mortify these things, to cleanse these things from your life, to abide in his word in the obedience of truth to the purification of your soul, that he can come and abode within you. This is taught in the mystery of Elohim. Paul says in Colossians 1:27 that the mystery of Elohim is what? Mashiach in you. In you. Living and dwelling and being the absolute reality of your life. But we have to be holy. We have to sanctify ourselves. I'm not talking about this aesthetic sanctification. I'm talking about sanctify yourself from those evil qualities of the heart that was spoken of by Yeshua: evil thoughts, fornication, idolatry, hatred, variance, greed. All these qualities that we have decorated to make ourselves socially acceptable among men, but it's not acceptable before Elohim. You can't decorate sin. You can't decorate covenant breaking. You can't decorate hatred, calling it racial tolerance. I don't want to be tolerated. Either you receive me wholly or you don't receive me. I don't apologize for being African. I don't apologize for being African Hebrew. I don't apologize for these things. I am what Elohim created me to be, and very proud of it. From the flesh to the spirit. Understand this. But I understand that my flesh and the color of my flesh gives me no credence with Elohim. What gives me credence with Elohim, what gains respect of me from Elohim, is his righteousness, his divine presence being within me, the mystery of Elohim being fulfilled within me, the Mashiach in you, and the hope of glorification. That is, the hope of entering into a state that is as equally holy as the state in which he dwells in. Well, it says, if you walk in the light as he is in the light, you have fellowship with one another. That's where unity comes from. Being in agreement, in obedience, in compliance to the will of the Father. And it says the blood of Yeshua, that is the blood that inaugurated the covenant, the new covenant that says, I will put my law in your mind and write it upon your heart. I will be unto you a Elohim, and you shall be unto me a people. I will cleanse you from all sin. That means every aspect of Yetzer Hara, evil inclinations within you. The potential of cleansing is in your obedience to his instruction. But it's hard, yes, it is. That's why Paul said the flesh wars against the spirit and the spirit against the flesh. He used the word milchama. War! War is hard. War is ugly. Sometimes we get wounded in war. That's why we need brothers of maturity and sisters of maturity that is able to take those who are in war when they get struck down to pick them back up. If you see your brother overtaken in a fault, you who are spiritual, restore such a one. He qualified that. You who are spiritual. Not you gossipers, not you backstabbers, not you fault finders, not you accusers before Elohim. No, you on the other side of the table. But we need spiritual brothers and sisters to be able to restore. Restoration comes from those who are able to appropriate the spiritual principles of power, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and do tzedakah in their community, and to restore it from the decadence that is overtaking them. Oh yes, it's revolution time. You see? Oh yes. We can no longer allow this movement to stay on the nihilistic level that it is on. No longer bathe ourselves and clothe ourselves with the aesthetics of religion and then call ourselves Messianic Hebrews. We're trying to transcend this mess and this garbage that they put us in. We want to transcend on a spiritual level. We want Yah to breathe within us. We want Yah to cleanse us and to change us and to fulfill the word that was spoken by David. I have said that you are Elohim, and all of you are sons of the Most High. Arise, O Elohim, and rule the nations. We're scared of stuff like that. We want to stay slaves. We don't want to rule. We think Elohim came in the flesh to pamper our slavery. He that sinneth is a slave of sin. He came to liberate the slave from sin, not give the slave a position in sin without experiencing guilt, because that's what they're teaching you. That you're saved, but you're not saved from actual sin. You're not saved from the actual ontological condition of sin. You're going to keep on sinning, but if you believe in our little Jesus, then you're going to go to heaven. Don't worry about your sin. Just pay tithes and come to church every week. Do Christmas and Easter. Dress up like this. Talk like this. Don't smoke that. Don't this. And you're going to be all right. Just believe in the person of our little Jesus. It's a lie. Yeshua came to destroy the works of the devil. He came to destroy the works of evil. He came to destroy the works of the law of sin and death that works within you. He came to destroy it. Not to complement it. Not to give it reign. Not to give it power. Not to give it dominion in your life. To whomever you serve, you become a servant of. This is a revolution, a changing of the heart through the applications of the divine instruction that is given us and taught properly by those who are and have achieved some level of spiritual enlightenment, to restore the weak from weakness, to restore the sinner from sin, to restore the homosexuality from homosexuality, and not tell him it's an alternate lifestyle that is acceptable to Elohim. It is not. And some of us were in these sins. So we're not condemning anyone. We're just telling you that when we came into the Mashiach and received the power of his Spirit and the instruction of his word, we understand that there is a standard that we must live by, and there is no compromise. He did not come to complement our flesh. He did not come to complement our sins. He came to destroy them, as it is written in his word. Now, I want to show you something out of Genesis, because Genesis has been comic booked for so long that it's hard to teach out of Genesis. And many times people say, well, do you teach it? Yes, I have a lot of teachings out of the Old Testament purely. They all agree. Okay? They all agree. And I want to show you this out of Genesis. But I teach a lot of Paul's because Paul's teaching has been the one that has been twisted and turned to make it seem oppositional to Old Testament teachings. And this is why I hook Paul back up to Yeshua and the Old Testament teachings. So you can see that he was teaching the same thing, it's just that these people are too stupid to realize it. They're carnal of the beast. And they have twisted his teachings to make it seem like Paul was teaching that Yeshua came to complement the sins of the flesh. And he did not.